I'm Luisa with the South China Morning Post. It is unimaginable to see that one of the most despicable of human practices is still allowed in China and even celebrated under the guise of a festival. The infamous annual Yulin Dog Meat Festival is now underway in the southern Chinese region of Guangxi, which is just over 400 kilometers from Hong Kong. Even more unbelievable is that this repugnant festival, which on June 21st, marking its 10th anniversary this year. The annual event lasts for 10 horrifying days, during which up to 100,000 dogs and sometimes cats are tortured and eaten. It is time to confront the realities of this brutality once more. Around 25 to 30 million dogs are butchered every year in Asia. A large percentage of those animals are stolen pets. However, some heartwarming news emerged a few days before the festival opened. Animal activists managed to rescue 62 canines from a Yulin slaughterhouse. Not long after that, on the other side of the world, the Humane Society International and Care 2 organized a petition with 1.5 million signatures that was delivered to the Chinese embassy in London, calling for a ban of the festival. Most encouragingly, there's a growing amount of data to indicate that, contrary to popular belief, dog meat consumption is not widely supported in China, and a majority of Chinese citizens are against the practice. In 2016, an online report showed that more than 60% of 2,000 respondents were opposed to the festival. The same survey also found that a similar percentage felt that the festival hurts China's international image. Sadly, man's best friend can end up being sacrificed even when the slaughtering is not labeled as a cultural practice. For example, in desperate times during the Cultural Revolution, when food was scarce, families were told to either surrender their dogs to the authorities or eat them to avoid the burden of feeding them. Of course, there's no such excuse today, and there needs to be a fundamental mindset change. Dogs should be treated as companion animals and classified as such by law. Legalizing their status not as pets, but rather as companion animals would hopefully give dogs better protection and also shift the general perception from pets as property to one where they are family members. One factor that could lend significant support to this approach is that dogs are now highly favored as companion animals in many Chinese households. There are 75 million pet owners in China, of whom nearly half are dog owners. So legalizing the status of dogs as companion animals is likely to be backed by society. The world, as well as the majority of Chinese citizens, have spoken out against this horrendous practice. The Chinese government can no longer afford to turn the other way or use the culture label as an excuse. Those who want to see an end to this practice need to appeal to not only the hearts and minds of the people, but also to push the Chinese government to take decisive action and give dogs full protection.